Howdy guys, welcome back to Horrible Doodles. I got a package in the mail today from a good friend of mine, and he had recommended I try out a blue pencil lead because you don't really have to erase it unless you're going over it with a really light marker. So I thought I'd give it a try. Of course, I pretty much drew over almost every single line with my pen, so it wasn't really a good experiment. Oh, that Sharpie he also gave me, and it's a brush tip Sharpie, which I desperately wanted to try, but desperately need a lot more practice with. I was not expecting how little I could control it. I mean, it goes on thick with very little effort, so I will be practicing with that either in doodle form or in just putting a bunch of lines on the paper. I think I'll probably go with the putting a bunch of lines on the paper approach. Anywho, so yeah, here's this. I really didn't know what I was going for at first. I just started putting a bunch of little blobby, bulbous things pointing up to the sky with a big old eyeball. But then kind of a nose took shape and a mouth, and so I threw in a cheekbone, and then there was a space there for an ear, so I threw in an ear, and now we've got a face thing melting onto the ground or something. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it's melting. I mean, there's like little droopy blob things on the ground, but no real shelf or structure that it's melting on to. Oh well, I should have drawn that in, but it's kind of neat. It's like it's on a invisible slab. So I do a lot of stippling on this guy. Actually, I think this is a girl. There's nothing really to indicate that, but that was just kind of my general feeling as I drew it. Some like troll woman. Anywho. But yeah, back to the stippling. I did a lot of stippling. Not much, what's the word I'm looking for? Difference in shades on it. It was mostly kind of like one tone of stippling, but I liked the texture it was providing more so than the shading, so that's why I did that. Or that's what I liked about it. I never really planned for that kind of stuff. And I really just I add the depth with the pen, and I'm testing out my marker off in the corner there. It's time to start coloring this lady in. Give her a nice purple eye meat and beautiful blue eye. A little bit of green in there. I bust out the white pen to try to add some highlights, but my goodness, this computer paper can really soak up that paint. And then my pen kind of exploded. So I had this like little tiny piece of foam off to the side, and I was like, oh, emergency status. Because it was really, it was starting to kind of crumple my paper there. I was worried it was going to tear a hole in it if I tried to wipe it away too roughly. So that sponge kind of soaked it up, and thank goodness it was there. I'm totally keeping that for emergency status from here on out. And originally I was going to go with a red kind of troll, like a evil looking color, but the yellow really stood out to me, and so I busted the yellow out and started doing some orange and then some darker oranges, and liked it. And then I decided I'll get my red in there somewhere. Why not the hair, which kind of looks like muscle fibers, so that red was perfect there. I really liked the way that turned out. I do a little bit of highlights. They don't really show up that much, but that's kind of the beauty of it. kind of blends in with what I was working on. And then, yeah, just this final little bit to finish this lady up, and we'll get on to a kind of a close-up pan around. Got a little bit more stippling to do here, and then I'll get to the close-up. Sorry, I'd forgotten I did a little bit more to the hair and a little bit more depths and stuff. Oh, and a very special guest appearance from Mr. Butterfly. He's been a previous video of mine. Now he's here. He's back. And I get my white pen out, and I think I'm gonna get fancy, and then I just cover it right back up with what was there originally. Anywho, here's the close-up. Nice curly lashes, some rib type bones in the head cavity, and there we have it. Thanks for watching, guys.